Hi, friends. Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again.
We always love doing this. And Mom, how's your day going thus far?
Brandon, my day's been going fine. How about yours?
All is well here.
That sounds great. Are you ready to talk about another episode of S.H.I.E.L.D., Brandon?
Yes, I sure am.
All right, we are on episode 18 called Providence.
Yes, and so this one released on April 15th of 2014.
All right, and in this episode, we are continuing along with the events that occurred last week. And last week, we didn't give any spoilers, but at this point, we almost have to kind of go into some details to kind of help with the storyline a little bit. And so overall, Coulson and his crew realized that they actually need to get further help. And so Grant is the only person who is not with Coulson when they take off. But Grant was asked to go with Agent Garrett so that he could see him behind bars. Actually, Grant asked if he could go to witness this. And of course, at this point in time, we all know that Grant is actually still following the leadership of Garrett, and he is at this point in time claiming to be Hydra. And so he is going against Coulson and his team. And this particular episode, I think the big thing is they kind of provide a little bit of explanation for some of the things that occurred in the past. All right, Brandon.
Well, Mom, that was a great explanation.
You're welcome, Brandon.
Yeah, and so overall, I mean, now that we're truly putting everything out in the open, what were your thoughts about finding out about the true allegiances of Grant Ward?
Well, once more, it surprised me from last week. And so to kind of hear some of the things that he was doing behind the scenes was actually interesting to hear. Um, just knowing that how he kind of, the facade he had in order to get Colson to trust him and the things that he said. What he did with May in order to get her on his side. I mean, he was just kind of playing along.
I mean, he even faked liking Tom Brady.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he was doing a lot of faking.
And what I thought was interesting is that they established that there was a sort of a no contact rule that they had between Ward and Garrett, and so Garrett's instructions were more, I guess, broad and behind the scenes, whereas Ward could truly, I guess, act innocent.
Yeah, and it made a lot of sense.
And that would also explain too why the clairvoyant seemed to get more and more instructions the more and more we outsaw Garrett.
Yep, that would explain why too. Yes. And the one thing I think he said was with the shooting of Sky, I think he was not aware that was going to happen.
Yeah, because he did make a point of saying, why go after her, and even Garrett's picking up that I guess Ward probably has some sort of feelings for her.
Yeah, I think so.
And Mom, we did see the return of some people.
Yeah, we did. Raina has returned. And Raina, I thought, was kind of interesting because she was very disappointed to realize that the clairvoyance was really not clairvoyance. I think once she realized it was just a regular guy, kind of the mystifying of the situation kind of changed her a little bit, or it looks like it did. And she was more timid to me in this episode than she was previously. And so I think because she was unsure of what Garrett was going to do with her.
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't seem that she would willingly want to be there. And she said that she had a question for the clairvoyant had he actually been clairvoyant.
Yeah. Do you remember what the question was?
A part of me says she didn't say, but but then she alluded to saying like asking like what would I become.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember. I mean, I remember the conversation, but I don't remember exactly what the output was for that conversation. Something I found interesting is if I remember correctly, I think she likes Colson. She made a comment about him.
Yeah, she said, "Yeah, I know Agent Coulson. He's a good man."
Yeah, which I thought was really quite odd. So for someone who's been doing some devious things.
Yeah, and I think she is more shocked than ever that it seems that truly Grant Ward has never had any feelings for any of the members of his team.
Yeah, yeah, you could tell that.
But Ward said something interesting in sort of his response at that because Serena was saying, don't you owe the man something? And he's like, absolutely, but I owe Garrett everything.
Yeah. So he is truly someone who is following his commanding officer. And what I find interesting is that Triplet, on the other hand, he is kind of appalled at what his, or at least this is the surface right now. He's appalled at what Garrett was doing, and he wants to work for Coulson.
Yeah, especially since it sounds like some members of Tripp's team were killed by Garrett, but Tripp thought that both of them were working to avenge those people.
Yeah, and they do a little maneuvering so that Trip could actually follow them around a little bit.
Yeah, so now Simmons is in charge of Tripp.
Yeah, yes, she is. She is. Coulson doesn't really want to have anything to do with him, right? Yeah, that at this point he doesn't know who to trust.
Yeah, but I'm sure Fitz doesn't seem that thrilled to have another guy on the bus.
I know, I know. What's interesting is that what's separate, and I had to think about later, was that Gear that Ward was not with them while they were kind of gathering together and going to their next adventure. Ward was, with Garrett. And so when they came together, it was kind of interesting to watch them because he acted like nothing different had happened.
Yeah, and I thought it was really clever by the show to have Ward, for the most part, up until like the last 5 minutes or so. I mean, truly separate from the equation because it was just such a jarring reveal. Um, yeah, in that last episode, but the team doesn't even know at this point.
No, the team doesn't know. And the team really doesn't know what happened to Agent Hand.
Yeah, and so I guess now Ward had said something along the lines of claiming that Victoria Hand took a detour on the way to the fridge or the icebox to put Garrett away, but they probably don't even know he's not even in prison.
Yeah, they don't know anything at this point. And it's interesting that they found another person to quote unquote trust at a different location. They meaning Colson's group.
Yeah, and who did they find?
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Yes, so the person they found is Eric Koenig.
Okay, and who is this man?
So, well, for us, even though we don't have any connections with, with the shows that we've discussed, he is played by Patton Oswalt.
Yes, he is.
But were you surprised to see him?
I was surprised to see him. Yes, I was, and of course, at that time, I didn't know if he was good or bad. So it was nice to know that he really was good, or appears good now, anyway.
And he tells the team that Nick Fury is dead.
Yes, he does. He does. But then he goes and tells Coulson later that he's alive. So who knows what Nick Fury is?
Yeah, but apparently, what was it? Eric has been here since the first Avengers movie, from what he says, and that the only thing that he has is to, per Fury's order, stand here in this base in Canada and wait for Nick Fury's directions while playing Call of Duty with his brother online.
Yes, that's what he said.
So, yeah, but are you excited to learn more about Eric?
I am. Will we learn more about him in episode 19?
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to address, Brandon?
Well, yeah. So there were a few things that sort of were happening within this episode that were sort of a behind the scenes, so to speak. And so one of them was Colonel Glenn Talbot of the Air Force said that he is taking control of what's left of the Shield.
Yes. Yes, he did say that. I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think Coulson was happy about that.
No, he had said like, sounds good to me, and then or something along the lines of like, that sounds good, and then it's like this is definitely not good.
Yeah. Yeah, he did say that. Another thing is the ship slash plane slash bus, whatever they're calling it, actually is not able to move much further because I think they're out of gas or close to it.
Yeah, they are out of gas, but Eric said they can park it within the secret base.
Yes, yes.
But yes, and one of the other things that they note for the Hydra side um, is that it seems that he's released a team of supervillains.
Oh, of course. Why not? And do we know who these supervillains are yet?
No, he just said that these are people that will keep Coulson busy.
Wow. Yeah. And this episode, I will say, we did not see Peterson.
No, we did not. Was there any, aside from Mike Peterson, was there anyone else that you were shocked to see not in this episode?
No, there wasn't. Any for you?
No, but I will say, I mean, now that we're finally speaking about last episode, I will say that having watched, these past 17 episodes, I will say I actually did like Victoria Hand as a character.
Yeah, I'll come around now and say that she was okay, even though I thought she was the bad guy initially.
Yeah, and so I think if I remember reading correctly, is that the show actually intentionally placed her there to be someone that people would predict as the bad guy.
I fell for it.
But yeah, as I said, for me as someone that like truly, um, up until this point, Victoria Hand, I'd always known as the person that Ward took down at the end of episode 17. But it was kind of nice in this rewatch to actually see her personality.
Yeah, it was. It was. Well, for me, first watch.
Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah. So, Mom, we have, I believe, 4 episodes left of this season. And so, any thoughts heading into it?
Right now, I don't have any thoughts. I'd like to see how this kind of ends and whether or not Grant is actually comes around or if he really is gone after this season because honestly, I have not looked ahead. I have not seen theme songs or whatever to know whether or not his character will be there for the next season.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And I will say, Ian Quinn is back.
Yeah, Ian is back and he's still bad.
Yeah, and he's a bit miffed that Garrett was not only his employer, but also threw him into prison.
Yes, yes. He didn't like that he had to be in prison. I mean, Garrett did let him and everyone else out, but yes.
Yes, because he's saying up until beforehand, he lived a life of luxury. He was a millionaire, and now he got thrown into prison where he had to eat meatloaf with no fork.
Yes. Oh, and I will say at the end we saw that Ian's invention or his whatever it is there. What is the name of it again, Brandon?
Ah, yes, the gravitonium.
Yeah, that thing. It is there, and he was happy to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I mean, a nice way to bring everything full circle. And a lot of the stuff Garrett was stealing from S.H.I.E.L.D. facilities are all of the collectible items that we've seen throughout the series thus far.
Yes, yes. All right, Brandon, you ready to watch the next episode?
I sure am.
All right, sounds good. And everybody, we will see you next Wednesday or Thursday. Have a good day.
We'll see you then.
Bye bye.